Welcome back. Hope you have gone through the Part 1 presentation on Fill Up the Blanks. If not, please go through that before you move further because this presentation is designed as a continuation to Part 1. In the earlier presentation, we discussed about the various types of fill up the blank questions that you can expect in an aptitude test and worked out examples of each type. In this discussion, we shall look at some generic tactics and techniques which will help us tackle various fill up the blank questions in aptitude tests. The first tactic is to read the sentence carefully and understand its meaning and then think of a word that suits the blank before looking at the choices. If we can come up with a word that makes logical sense in the context, then check the given choices. If the word we thought of is one of the choices, select that as our answer. If the word we thought is not there in the choices, look for a synonym of that word. That synonym will be the answer. This tactic enables us to get a sense of the sentence as a whole without being distracted by the answer choices. We are free to concentrate on spotting the key words in the sentence that help us to understand the meaning clearly. Once we grasp the meaning, we can guess a suitable word that fills up the blank. But if we look at the choices first, it may confuse us in understanding the meaning of the given sentence. Let us look at the example E6 given in the slide and apply tactic 1. That is, read the sentence and think of a word that makes sense before looking at the choices. The person mentioned in the sentence taught the students a topic well. At the end of the class, the students had no doubts. What does this mean? He had a profound knowledge in the topic and he taught brilliantly. Is that correct? A person may have sound knowledge in a subject, but if he cannot explain it properly, the students will have doubts at the end of the class. Thus we get the word explanation. Now let us look at the options. The word we think, explanation, is not among the options. Option A is handling. Well, we can handle a situation, not a topic. Option B is clarity. His own clarity on the topic will not prevent the students from having doubts. Between option C and D, the word exposition is more appropriate than picturization, because exposition is a synonym of explanation, the word that we thought before looking at the choices. Option C, picturization, is not suitable here. Usually, a topic is explained, not picturized. Hence, option D is the answer. The second tactic is not to decide on an answer before checking all the answer choices. We are looking for the word that best fits the blank and expresses the exact meaning of the sentence. So we should not be hasty in making a decision by selecting a word at random. Instead, we should substitute all the options for the missing word. This is necessary to get the best possible answer in the context of the sentence, because sometimes more than one option may look suitable. So do try them all. See the example given in the slide. The sentence is very simple. The audience did something at the end of the drama. What was it? We may be tempted to select choices A or B. But do not make up your mind. Try other options also. Option C, appraised, means fixed a price for. This word does not make any sense to the sentence. So option C cannot be the answer. Option D, applauded, means showed approval by clapping the hands. Audience can appreciate or praise a drama after watching it, but they appreciate or praise the drama in a discussion about the drama. Usually, what do people do at the end of a show? They clap their hands in approval. The key phrase in the sentence that points towards the answer is at the end of the drama. At the end, we clap, not appreciate. Hence, the correct answer is option D, applauded. Now, the third tactic. When we find a sentence with two blanks, read the entire sentence to get a sense of it as a whole. Think what the sentence is trying to convey. Then apply the first word in each answer pair in the first blank of the sentence. Check which all words make sense in the blank. If the first word of an answer pair itself does not make any sense, we can safely eliminate that option. To a certain extent, this technique would help us to approach the right answer. The example E8 given in the next slide illustrates this. When we read the sentence carefully, we understand that the first part of the sentence is negative in tone and the last part of the sentence is positive in tone. So the first words, magnificent, happy, purposeful, in options A, B, and C, respectively, cannot be placed in the first blank because they have a positive tone. Especially the words magnificent and purposeful do not make any sense in this context. As the last part of the sentence is positive, another positive word, happy, does not suit here. So the first word in option D, arduous, is the right choice. The word arduous means difficult or using up much energy. This word is perfectly in agreement with the word painful. So that is the answer. In case we find that more than one first word in answer options correctly fill the first blank, then check the second word in those options to decide the correct choice. This tactic is based on signal words. These words link one part of the sentence to another. They are called transitions because they indicate a change in the course of the sentence. These words are clues that can help us to group the meaning of the sentence. Usually they come as the first word of a sentence. Some signal words support what the previous sentence states, whereas some others contradict the idea mentioned in the previous sentence. Writers use signal words to connect their ideas logically. These words reflect their intention, point of view, and mood. Signal words help us to understand the meaning of a sentence. Likewise, a signal word for a blank is determined by the meaning of the sentence. Sometimes these words even help us to deduce a missing word in a sentence. Some examples of signal words are given in the slide. Now refer the example 9. Here the missing word is a signal word. The first sentence states a fact which is optimistic and hence positive. But the second sentence cautions about difficulties, so it is negative in nature. We can feel a contrast in the second sentence. Hence, the blank requires a signal word that expresses a contrast. The words accordingly, hence, and moreover in options A, B, and C respectively have no negative tone and so do not express any contrast. Therefore, the right choice is option D, however. This makes clear how important signal words are in these types of questions. This tactic is based on our knowledge of word parts and parts of speech. If a word used by the author is unfamiliar, or if an answer choice is unknown to us, we can adopt two approaches. The first one is to break the word down into its component parts, especially prefixes and suffixes. This is to see whether the word parts give any clue to its meaning. If we can recognize the meaning of the broken parts, it may help us to identify the meaning of the word. For example, see the word autonomous. Imagine that we do not know its meaning. Let us break this word into auto and norm. Auto means self and norm means law. Thus, we can understand the meaning of autonomous as self-law or self-rule. In other words, independent. The second approach is to change the unfamiliar word from one part of speech to another. A word in adjective form may be unfamiliar, but its noun form may be familiar. Let us see this word, embryonic. It is an adjective and it's not very familiar. Let us remove the suffix nic, N-I-C. The word becomes a noun, embryo, which is a familiar word. The word embryo means offspring of an animal in the early stages of its development. So, embryonic means still undeveloped or in the beginning stage. Now, let us turn to the last two examples. The first sentence says the reason for all antisocial developments. So, the blank demands a word with a negative connotation. First, we must eliminate answer choices that are obviously incorrect. Option A, drought means continuous dry weather or lack of rain, evidently does not fill the blank. The meaning of depreciation is lessening of value and depredation means destruction of a property. The next word is disparity. Imagine that we do not know the meaning of any of these answer options. So we decide to apply the breaking strategy. But we do not know how to break the first three words. So let us try the last one, disparity. We can break it into dis and par. Dis is a prefix which means no or not. Par means equal. So disparity means inequality. This word has a negative tone and it perfectly fits in the blank. Hence, option D is the answer. In the second sentence, we can apply the second approach of changing the parts of speech. Here, the sentence tells us about the essential quality required for a Devisam minister. Devisam board handles temple administration. So the minister requires some inclination towards God. Definitely, option C, pride, is not a quality required here. We do not know the meaning of other options. But if we change the noun piety into an adjective, we get the word pious, which is a familiar word meaning God-fearing or having devotion. And this is the right answer choice in the context. So to sum up, we went through the three main types of fill up the blank questions, namely sentence completion, passage completion, and choosing the appropriate filler. We also learned some of the testing tactics that could help to answer these questions. Do study these techniques and apply them wherever they could be applied. It may not be possible to apply all the tactics to all situations. Each tactic should be applied specifically according to the nature of the sentence. Good luck.